Hart can reverse it. Here we go, ladies and gents. It is my pleasure to bring you in the Red Trunks Complexity's Hart. He is playing Terran to the southwest versus his opponent. It is Millennium Stephano, currently up 1 game in this best-of-3 series. He is in the Blue Trunks playing Zerg to the northeast of Cloud Kingdom. And
Complexity do have a star within Hart with that fourth place finish at the last event. And he really did surprise everyone. Him and Ganji, the twins of Complexity, the twins of the Terran race. But is one of them going to, you know, continue the legacy here? Are they going to keep going towards that end goal? Or is Stephano, the Frenchman, or USA, I guess the American, depends on where you're actually from, where you're listening to this from, depends on actually Stephano's nationality.
Indeed it does.
He's actually British, guys, so screw you all.
I can safely say that he has a much better taste in food than any British man does, so all credit to him for that one. Not entirely sure about the hair, but then again, I'm not much of a connoisseur for that either. Well, Hart is gonna, let's see what Hart's actually gonna pull off here. It looks like he's gonna set the racks up just over there. Could, of course, hop it down to the bottom if he so desires, but putting it out of the way, not bothering to wall off as of yet, not expecting any early aggression from Stephano, and nothing coming from him either.
Just by that barracks placement, I think he's gonna go 3 command centers, and that's how crazy of a guy I am. You know, reading into that with the barracks placement there, he can of course still go reactor Hellions, but he can also, if he wants his tank production on the side of the cliff, he can have the factory there already. But that's looking into the future with my crystal ball. Not sure if it's going to work or not this time around. I actually have a magic 8 ball that tells me how to cast StarCraft 2. So any aspiring analytical commentators, go buy yourself a magic 8 ball, and you could be casting the MLG semi-final winner bracket. Yeah,
the worst part is when you shake it and it says "ask me later," and it suddenly causes this really awkward dead air in the middle of the cast. You've got to fill time. Puns may come into play, which is always a very risky build.
Stephano playing safe, grabbing gas pretty early here, just playing it safe. I mean, Stephano's always been a guy that likes roaches. You know, he
does.
He's actually lost so many games against Port just with Marines and Hellions. He's like, no, you actually need roaches. It doesn't matter. You have to have roaches against any form of play. And, you know, I casted a game against Lucifron and Demaga recently. Demaga was playing the old streamlined Stephano style Ling, Infesta, Ultra. But it doesn't work if your opponent hits you with Marine and Blue Flame Hellions. It just doesn't work.
No.
And Stephano is, alongside Nest T, actually, kind of the pioneers of using that Roach Warren for defensive reasons. And also aggressive ones too. It really causes the Terran player to keep guessing left and right. Is he going to all-in me? Is he not? And that's what Hart's, well, the kind of questions on that SCV's very mind.
Well, there's 2 more gas being added on here. We'll see whether or not he does go for that 3rd command center at this point. No factory down as of yet, obviously, because he hasn't got the gas to make that happen. How much he's going into both with all 3 SCVs at this stage. In the meantime, Stephano just transferring down to his natural. Things looking solid. Speed has now begun, adding on extra queens.
A lot of money being backed up, approaching that 400 mark. And are we going to see additional barracks come down? There's the factory about to come down, but are we going to see the command center after? That doesn't necessarily have to be, but it could be something Hart wants to do, though. Stephano, of course, just got the 100 gas for his speed taken out and is now mining away. And the kind of everybody, or all the Terran players most recently are 1 barracks expanding. Pretty much game in, game out, which naturally leads the Zerg player to take a really fast 3rd base, which we're actually seeing an SCV scout for on that 3rd base. They're trying to look, is it there, is it not? And the question is, or the answer, sorry, is no. So that SCV is actually wondering what the hell is going on here. Manages to get in, but well, the queen on the top actually denies that, and Stephano has gone back into gas. So going through Hart's mind, he is in a very weird place.
He is. Roach Warren is now down. Once again, we see him using his trademark unit known as the Wrecking Ball for a very good reason. Is adding on the 3rd base, needless to say, wouldn't want to be going on 2 base at this stage, but adds it on later in order to get that Roach Warren. How does Hart react to that? He's thrown down the starport here. There's actually a tech lab on that barracks. Could be for a swap over for Banshee.
Yeah, it's going to be Cloak Banshee follow-up here by Hart. And it's a great little maneuver here. I mean, you can get damage done to that third base. Queen could fall down. Drones can fall down. Especially if your opponent is about to build like 8 roaches or so, which we're about to see in the production tab. 4 out. 4 will continue to follow this as the overlords pop, I suppose. No, actually goes over to drones. 4, though, that basically says that he's not going to commit to it, and these are actually defensive roaches. These are to protect that third base. But with no evolution chambers down, with no layer yet, then, well, there's the evolution chamber coming down, but Stephano could be in danger here to these cloaked banshees.
Yeah, the thing is they're not cloaked. No cloak has been
actually
researched. He's had the opportunity for the last 30 seconds to start it. So perhaps he doesn't want to dedicate that much gas.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, Stephano is currently sitting on 3 queens. If he were to pop out a couple more, then he should be okay against this.
He's got the double engineering base, so he's basically said, yeah, I can go cloak Apollo. Yeah, sure. But I'm actually just going to go double engineering base and use that 200 gas that I could have put in cloak on 1-1 bio upgrades.
Indeed, and a little bit of a supply block there for Heart, unfortunately. And the last thing you want against a player of Stephano's caliber, certainly the Hellions now moving out, trying to find some way in. Cancel very quickly on that creep tumor. No problems for Stephano whatsoever at the moment.
And with this third command center coming down by Heart, he will have a decent economy. He's got decent upgrades as well. There's no really department that he's lacking in, aside from Banshees, to be honest. I mean, the Banshees is like a waste of money almost, as Stephano has queens all over the place. He's not really going to take any significant losses here. And how many Banshees does he have? He has 1 out. He has a second one in production. So he is going to go together here. You can call these Banshees Heart and actually and Ganzi could be the Banshee names here. Probably wearing the Complexity t-shirts as they fly across together. But even 2v1, Stephano's in such great form that I don't think that would work either.
Yeah, and how much damage can it really do? And more to the point, once you start picking off drones on a 3-base Zerg economy, when he's already got a reasonable army anyway, it's very easy to replace, especially if you're hitting all of the injects. So we'll see how it turns out. The Banshees are now on their way. And how much damage will he be able to inflict with it? I honestly thought maybe he was just building them for defensive purposes to try and pick up some roaches here and there. But Stephano hasn't spotted them yet. Nice maneuvering here by Heart to get them to the third base undetected. The Queen suddenly realizes it's in grave danger and forces an entire pull off the mineral line, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, 2 queens are going to beat 2... I mean, 2 Banshees are going to beat 2 queens.
Indeed.
So there's only 1 queen there, so he has to pull back and just minimize some losses. And this is a maneuver now that Heart will take the lead in the game with.
Yes. That's a really nice engagement thus far. And the wonderful thing about Cloud Kingdom, when you're doing this kind of air harass, is the ease of hopping from the main to the third, backwards and forwards. But
These slings. This is a very tense moment for those Marines who were coming across to help aid and get rid of that single ling underneath. And Stephano is nullifying that, but he's about to lose his hatchery if he's not careful. The Banshees actually decide to return to deal with this.
Exactly, which is a nice little maneuver there by Stephano to force him to do that. Saves his third in the process, but also denies Hearts as well for the longest time. And these Banshees will eventually work their way through these roaches, and sometime in 2015 we might see them actually win. It'll take a while. Whatever the case, in the meantime, speed for roaches, +2 carapace and +2 melee attack, as well as pathogen glands for the infestors here from Stephano.
And 9 extra drones as well for Stephano. A little push out here by Heart, undetected by Stephano. He doesn't have the creep spread, does not have that left Xel'Naga tower. And Stephano is going to be caught with his pants down here, building 6 more drones, 9 more drones, no infestors, no units. He only has a handful of roaches and links, which is still on the other side of the map. And this hatchery is actually in danger.
It really, really is right now. Let's see what Stephano can actually do to save it. Answer is not a damn thing. Down goes the hatchery. Really nice engagement there by Heart. Stephano just lacking in the creep spread in the one area it actually needed to be, which was to the top there, covering that ramp. And that puts Stephano's drones in a really awkward spot, unable to mine 81 drones, completely oversaturated for 2 base.
Yeah, now Stephano's like, god damn it, but he's got a tank. He does not have siege mode yet, and he's bringing back all his units. He has to get the hell back so fast with 2 Banshees. Does push this back in. Heart takes such a commanding lead now. He has equal upgrades. He has double the economy of Stephano, and is able to still harass, drop Stephano at the same time. And Heart is showing us why he had finished so high in previous MLG events here and is not going to roll over to Millennium player.
Indeed he is not, and he can keep doing this until these infestors come out to lock the drops down, which is annoying as hell. He's going to try and minimize gas here coming in for Stephano, but there's the pickup. He can go back to the third if he wants. Stephano is sitting there waiting for him, however. 2 queens now pushing out in order to make this a little bit more awkward, but the drop will escape.
It will escape, but it's there's nothing really there to deal damage to it yet. The Infestor's not in position. They're trying to get around. But Heart has a lot of units on the ground again, and +2 is about to finish, so it's a nice little timing here. Does Stephano even have enough Infestors to deal with this yet? He has 7.
Yeah, he's got
but if
Heart
Heart spreads out well.
Yeah, we'll see if he does. Roach is initially going in there, which of course don't do so well against upgraded Marines and Medivacs. The DPS is too slow to kill anything. The attacks are too slow. Generally means that the Marines can get healed before they actually die. So a little awkward, but with the addition of Infestors and of course Lings, that becomes a dicier prospect there for Heart. Another command center being added on for him as well, allowing that economy to continue to flow. Complete lack of harassment potential here for Stephano is crippling his ability to fight back.
3 upgrades now on the way for Heart. And very fast upgrades in this game as we hit the 15-minute mark. And it's about to take a full base uncontested. That is something which can never ever happen for you from a zero player's perspective there. We have 2 Banshees on the natural here. Stephano trying to get across there, but 2 Infestors.
Oh, he grabs one, misses the other. Oh, was that Ganji getting out of there, or was that Heart? Well, one way or the other, it's down now, unfortunately.
But that is just a mere distraction for Heart to get position on the 4th and potentially the 3rd of Stephano for a game-winning maneuver.
Yep, and he'll be sieging up to make that very, very unpleasant right here for the French player. And Stephano needs to get a good one. That was a good fungal growth to start off right there. Second fungal for the follow-up kills. A good number of Marines here, but he does need to try and get a flank. It is actually a little Roach run by that was fended off on the 3rd base, but that 3rd is going down for Stephano again.
And this is all because of that little run by from Heart at the early stages of this game, and it's really playing a factor here. Planetary Fortress gets cancelled, lifted up command center. 3rd base goes down for Stephano, who is at Hive, but he doesn't have an Ultralisk Cavern down. He doesn't have anything down. There's actually a drop in the main mineral line here too, and Heart is dominating Stephano on map number 2.
Yeah, he really is. Really nice follow-up. There's the fungal for the cleanup as well, but this is harass all the time, consistently denying bases by Heart. Stephano not able to do so. He's tried. Roach run by, Ling run by, all shut down every single time. Stephano now attempting to expand here, but there's Banshees all over it already.
And Stephano's been very cost efficient with his units. Hasn't really lost any units anywhere, to be honest. And that's enabled him to get 3-3, still have a good bank. He's trying to save his money for the Ultralisks. He does not want to lose Infestors here. Yep,
doesn't want those targeted down. Nice around there with the fungal growth as well. The tank support in the back means that Stephano is bleeding hard in this engagement. And there's the big stim. The vast majority of Marines were held back. There's still a lot of fungal energy there. And, oh no, look at the target fire going down. Infested Terrans don't come down fast enough. And the Infestors get annihilated in a salvo of hellfire.
And Stephano still has enough money. Maybe he won't quit the game yet. He wants to build these Ultralisks. Where are the Ultralisks? There, they're finally coming 2 in the production tab, but only 2. But he doesn't.
There's who it is.
Doesn't care. He's not going to try to follow that through. And Heart, man, Heart has
blistering
just one move to control the game, and the most important thing is he didn't let go of his advantage.
Indeed, he never lost it at any point. Once he got that momentum, he cut the economy of Stephano so hard. You could see by the drone count, 82 drones, nowhere for them to go. That is the advantage, just obliterated completely, and then continued with the pressure, denied the 3rd again and again, the 4th base, and shut down every possible counterattack. And hell, that Banshee decision turned out to be absolutely phenomenal for him. I believe he even kept that one Banshee alive the entire game.
Yeah, he killed Ganzi but kept himself alive. Selfish git. Anyway, JP, thoughts?
Total Biscuit actually summed it up pretty good there. I feel like that after game 1, it was just a wake-up call for Heart. That was a completely different player that we just saw there in that second game. And going into this game 3, I have no idea who's going to take it. After game 1, I thought Stephano was going to win this 2-0. Heart, he did not look very good in game 1. Game 2, however, did a great job denying the 3rd base and really making sure that Stephano could never get up a huge economy and get those Ultralisk out towards the end with just constant aggression. And
before actually both of these guys got into it, as you did said, Total Biscuit, is that they only, well, Stephano had only dropped a single map in this tournament, but so had Hart, he's only dropped 1 map as well. Both of these guys only dropping 2 maps in the entire of the tournament so far, both in the semi-finals. Who's going to knock each other down? Remember, whoever falls down from here, looking at it, could potentially move on to play against, I'm looking at the loser bracket semi. It's not quite determined yet as I was looking at the bracket. Not determined yet. I was actually thought I was going to be heroic and tell you.
It might be a Korean.
Yeah, it might be a Korean or Grubby.
If Stephano end up fighting Grubby again, the fates have got something in for Grubby. Yeah, they really do.
So just waiting on the next map pick. Indeed. We don't actually know what the next map is going to be here, so I'm very excited to get the invite to actually find out what it's going to be, because just having the invite alone gets me excited, because now I can start to be like, all right,
how's this going to play?
How's this going to play? How's it going to play? I mean, I don't know. You could actually flip a coin to decide who's going to win this game. It's very close at this second game.
Yeah,
this stage.
As far as I'm concerned, you barely even count the first game. It was just that failed aggressive attack just steamrolled, and it was an easy win. But that was a completely different Hart, as was accurately pointed out. That was the game that Hart should have put on in the first place. And if he can keep that momentum, Stephano's going to be really hard-pressed.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the strategy that Hart had obviously deployed through this best-of-3 series, he said to himself, well, I'm just going to try and get an early win in Game 2 and then just wipe the slate Game number 2 with a perfect, clean game. But that's not quite how it worked. It backfired. But we do have the next map choice here, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Antigua Shipyard. Terran-favored map in this matchup against Zerg players.
Indeed, but one of the favorites of Stephano as well. You've got to bear in mind it's a frequent holiday destination for him. He loves it.
Absolutely. We did see this map earlier on. JP, any predictions for Antigua Shipyard, my friend?
I think that Stephano's going to have a pretty tough time with this. It is Terran favored, like you were saying. I wanted to give a quick update, though. A lot of people are over on Gameplay 1 watching Grubby versus Anori. Anori taking Game 1 in that series. So very tense situation for Grubby. He has probably had his heart racing all day long, tearing through that lower bracket, taking out Goody, and then taking out Ryung. And now he finds himself against Anori. The winner goes on to play MC. And the other top half of the losers bracket, Dream versus Symbol, is going to be the match there for losers round 5.
All right, guys. So we are now ready to get this game underway. But first, this is, of course, the last map between the series.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have a look at the map intro.